Hello everyone, and happy full moon time. And of course, not just any full moon, but a full moon lunar eclipse, the first eclipse of the fall eclipse season. So let's talk a little bit about this eclipse season and what the themes are and how it fits in with the overall arc of the year. This eclipse season is a bit unusual because the two eclipses in question do not fall on the same zodiacal axis, as we are in the process of transitioning the positions of the lunar nodes from the Aries Libra axis to the Pisces Virgo axis. So you may recall that in the spring, the eclipses were in Libra lunar and Aries solar and centered around the lessons of that axis. I highly recommend going back and revisiting the videos about those eclipses because there are aspects that are still extremely relevant now, especially in terms of understanding how this eclipse fits in with the rest of the year. But recall that the Aries-Libra axis is the balance between individualism and harmony. And it is only when we balance these energies together that we can truly progress on our mission as a spiritual warrior. Both fiery Aries action without harmonizing Libra and peacekeeping Libra without individualistic Aries will generate blocks and problems to moving forward. And generally speaking, people feel more comfortable in one side of the spectrum than the other. This theme is still present in the fall eclipse season, as Libra is still a key player, with the solar eclipse in Libra occurring the first week of October. However, this time things get a little unusual because the lunar eclipse happening tomorrow, September 17th, is occurring with the full moon in Pisces, which may be arguably the most different energy from Aries possible in the entire zodiac. But what is interesting here is that Libra and Pisces share a core challenge: people pleasing, being over accommodating, over-committing, having a challenging relationship with the word no. Now, the cause of this similarity is different in each sign, and it is good to have an understanding of the nuances for each as we move through this eclipse season, but the toxicity of the challenge is the same. And this eclipse season is gunning for anywhere in your life that you struggle to hold boundaries. Say yes when you should say no, and sacrifice your well-being for others. So let's dig into this a little bit. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It is also the mutable water sign. And these three features combine to make it literally the most receptive possible energy in the entire zodiac. Pisces energy holds the key of agape love, the Christ consciousness. And there's a reason it comes last. Only after we have mastered all of the other keys of the zodiacal wheel and are able to use them in our lives are we truly capable of holding the vibration of absolute love. Now, the challenge for Pisces comes when you have the deep desire and capacity for this beautiful vibration, which makes Pisces a deeply healing, compassionate, loving, mystical, wise, and aware energy without mastering the other keys. This imbalance leads to the core challenges of Pisces: illusion, naivete, optimism to the expense of accepting reality, excessive compassion, over-accommodation, and martyrdom. It is very easy for Pisces energy to get taken advantage of because Pisces simply wants to believe the best is always possible. Unfortunately, the reality of this world that we live in is the best is not always possible because people choose not the best every single day. And if we truly look at the person who most wonderfully held the agape love in the history of mankind, Jesus the Christ understood how to balance the concepts of mercy and severity, of compassion and justice, knowing that oftentimes holding a boundary and teaching a lesson was, in fact, the act of love. So the challenge of Pisces is overgiving. Pisces energy, when out of balance, will say yes too often, overcommit, be excessively permissive, and say that this is all in the name of love. But unfortunately, it is not. Indeed, the kind of love that kind of love is deeply distorted and bears terrible fruits for both the giver and the receiver. It is the root of codependency and enabling, which weaken to the point of handicap the recipient, as well as the associated self-harm and victim complex that comes from overgiving. That isn't love at all for either party involved. And this is why sometimes the word no is the most loving word on the planet. No is what protects us. No is what protects you, your energy, your time, your health, your resources, your integrity. No is what protects others in your life. We all have had experience with the concept overcommit, underdeliver. So who gets the short shrift when it comes time to underdeliver? Who takes the hit? Who gets hurt? Integrity is doing what you say, and someone who says yes too often will inevitably fail to do what they commit to. And often people who have severe struggles in this arena will degrade their own health and well-being and let other people down simultaneously. No is how we protect our priorities. It is how we establish what is important in our lives. One of the mandates for a successful life lived in joy is aligning our actions with our true priorities. This requires a healthy and liberal usage of the word no. Without that, inevitably, we will lose something really important to us because we gave our time and energy to something less important. No is what gives meaning, power, and value to yes. So this eclipse season is all about where do we over-accommodate in our lives? Where do we say yes when we should say no? And if you want a little extra help figuring it out, you can look to see in which houses in your chart you have Pisces and Libra. And the two eclipses will have slightly different flavors. The lunar eclipse in Pisces will be more internal, whereas the solar eclipse in Libra will shine a spotlight on the areas of your life where we pay too high a price in the name of harmony. This full moon is going to illuminate this internally. What is it inside ourselves that leads to this in our lives? And it will make us feel the consequences of that overgiving, which may make this full moon a particularly emotional one, as your soul is crying out to be heard. Anger, resentment, grief, anxiety, exhaustion, these are all emotions that are associated with overgiving and not protecting what is important to you. The good news is, this is also a powerful opportunity to release this from you, to reclaim your power, and to elevate into the pure expression of Pisces, absolute love, for yourself first, so that you can then give to others as well, knowing that sometimes the word no is the most loving of all. If you are feeling the crunch this full moon time, I strongly encourage you to join me for this week's Wednesday Max Meditation, curated to help you maximize the opportunity of this lunar eclipse to shift these themes in your life. Join me in person or on Zoom at 6 p.m. Central Time, Wednesday, September 18th, to bring yourself back to balance this eclipse season. I hope to see you there.